How's it going, people? Welcome to episode 2, right here on the Top 6 Fan TV. And this one is going to be action packed. It's a transfer special edition. With me in the house, I have the Kings of Banter. I have a Liverpool guy in the house, Mr. J&K, Jonah Kajimba, otherwise known as Jonah Kajimba. Welcome.
What's up?
Great. And then we have the Red Devil himself. Not that he's a Red Devil. I don't even know why they chose that name. Man, you're in fellowship. You're supposed to be the religious man. But Kajina, welcome.
Thank you, Matthew. Thanks.
And finally, we have, I think reporting from Roman Abramovich helicopter dock or helicopter hangar, we have one Frobisha. As you can see, he's a man from Stamford Bridge. You can say what's up.
What's up? I hope it's winter where you are. I hope so. Welcome.
Yeah, it's summer. It's summer over here in the Parliament. Yeah, we're loving the weather.
Yeah, it's winter at the bridge.
Fantastic. So we're going to get right into it after this short intro.
Oh, he's done it! Cometh the man! And it's that one, Bellingham! It's 8 goals in his last 8 Premier League starts at Emirates Stadium. Salah! Wow! What a strike by Mohamed Salah!
Ball down the channel, and it's played into Fernandes in the penalty area.
Aguero looking for the 1-2 penalty. He's won the title!
Haven't they? Here's Harry Kane.
Kane goes for it! What a goal from in business here. Lukaku scores on second debut. It's only taken 14 minutes.
Fantastic. Welcome back. And what can I say? It's an action-packed, room up here, as we saw with someone from Liverpool, someone from United, and someone from Chelsea. So it's going to get quite hostile up in here. I think we're remote, so I don't think it will get physically hostile, but there's going to be some good banter on the show for you all today. And today is this transfer special edition. Fantastic end to the transfer window for a lot of us. Mr. Manzi Kajina over there, United man, and Frobisha, have been very excited with their signings. Mr. Jonah, on the other hand, as we'll get into it, still seems to be a bit worried. They bought a defender, and they're thinking of converting him into a center forward, but we'll definitely get into that. But gentlemen, I'll go around. First of all, welcome again to the show. What were your highlights basically from the transfer window? We're 3 games into the English Premier League season. As we know, you know where you're standing on the table. I won't say much. My job is to be quiet. This time I can't make a lot of noise from the Arsenal side because our guns have fallen silent. But going around, I think Jonah, what are your highlights from the transfer window specifically?
Matthew, first of all, thanks for having me. I can't wait to speak the mind of every Liverpool fan, especially my own, which is very loud. And Liverpool fans have been very silent in the transfer window. And obviously, because we haven't had that much action. We got Konate, although we already knew we were signing him
that's
by
a
the end of
center
last
forward,
season.
right?
A center back. Center back. But it's been one of the craziest transfer windows of all time. We have seen some crazy transfer windows in the time of the Galacticos, but this one has been a bit crazier than usual. And as a Liverpool fan, it obviously felt bad to lose the transfer window trophy. I think I'll hand over to Mr. Kajina, who I believe won the transfer window cup.
Thank you, Jonah. We won the cup, but not in expenditure. That one is for Matthew. But of course, the biggest news was Cristiano. You guys, I think 2 days before, even the day before, He was linked with going to City, and I'm on a WhatsApp group where I was like, "You guys, if this guy goes to City, I will cry. Our hearts will be broken." I was so sad. But 24 hours later, we heard that he had come to United. I remember that week. On that day, it was Friday last week, right?
No,
I think
we're not taking notes,
yeah, I had fought with my wife, and I was very angry. But when I received the news, I was like, forget the fights, man. This is it. So Cristiano coming back to United is like the greatest news ever. Not that he is going to be excellent, but man, just think about Cristiano, and every time he's transferring from Real to Juve, you keep thinking, when will he ever come back to United? So coming back to United, I think it was the most excellent news to receive at the end of the transfer window. Of course, Varane is good. Sancho. We'll talk about Sancho later. But yeah,
we'll talk about Sancho later. We'll get into the nitty-gritty with United.
In fact, I didn't want to buy this new jersey because, man, it was looking weak. But now with Cristiano, I have to just buy it just to have a Cristiano.
You know.
That team viewer jersey.
That team viewer thing was not looking legit. But now that Cristiano has a team viewer, I think it's worth buying.
I can see you're buzzing, man. Frobisha, what have been the highlights for you from the Chelsea end? Well, generally.
I would prefer to say generally. Thank you, Matthew, for having me on this show. Generally, because I think not most of the Chelsea business really didn't get my attention that much. We already pretty much had a very good squad, so I wasn't really looking forward to major signings. Though I do appreciate the signings that came on. However, the highlight of my highlight mostly was one, Kane staying at Spurs. That really reduced the pressure on my side. I was really worried about that Man City thing. Having Kane and just having Kane, even if they don't buy anyone, was really going to mess up my season. So my highlight was hearing the news that Kane gets to stay at Spurs. Really, that was and then the other one was Arsenal letting Willian go. That one also got me by shock.
It hurt me.
You guys,
how could they let Willian go?
I was wondering, how do you let Willian go?
No,
that was the second most standout thing of the transfer window.
You guys sold us a Ferrari with no tires. It's terrible. Worst signing. I don't think we have ever seen a signing.
And I think
what do you guys think?
The
first place.
The final shocker. The final shocker was Griezmann leaving Barcelona. I think those three really. I didn't expect it. Now with Messi having to go, of course there was the surprise of all those big transfers going for free. I was wondering, how is it possible that Man U can sell Daniel James at 25 million and buy Ronaldo at 19? Didn't make sense. But yeah, those three were the highlights for me.
Well, just Frobisha, for you, just before we get into it, as Cristiano Ronaldo was going through, the airport terminals in Italy, we Arsenal fans sprinkled him with a little bit of Sanchez dust. So hopefully he can have the same impact at Old Trafford.
Hey, Sanchez, don't remind us, man. Don't remind us.
Just give him a piano.
Hey, that mistake was made once. We won't repeat it. That piano thing, man, was the hoax of all hoaxes.
Yeah, I think you needed to have given him a thumb piano instead of a real one, because anyways, let's get into the transfer business in detail. And I just want to flash my screen right there, and basically, give a snapshot of what the top six were up to over the transfer window. Kicking off, obviously, you guys have made mention of some of the players that have come in, but kicking off with Manchester United. We're not going to go in order of the highest spenders for obvious reasons. But kicking off with Manchester United, we'll go with the area where there seems to be a lot more excitement. Manchester United, look at your ins. Cristiano Ronaldo there, £12.9 million. Jadon Sancho, the guy that you have been chasing, England winger, you've been chasing him from last season from Borussia Dortmund, finally getting your man for £73 million. Raphael Varane, what a buy. For me, when I saw this signing £41 million and compared him to the £50 million pounds that we spent on Ben White, I was, as basically flabbergasted. And then Tom Heaton, backup keeper, coming in from Aston Villa to strengthen that. We'll not focus on the outs, but I think probably one talking point on the out before we hand over to Manzi Kajina to give us his reflections on that is Daniel James leaving for Leeds, speedy Welsh winger, £25 million, heading out of the door, and going out on a permanent move to Leeds. But Manzi, tell us, what are your reflections on this business? Do you feel that this was fantastic business from your end? £126 million spent. Are you bringing the title or the titles home to Old Trafford?
Yeah, that is. I think that's the question on everyone's lips, and every pundit is saying the pressure is on Ole. He has all these players. He has spent all this money. I think the signings are good. Cristiano, of course, coming in brings a boost to the players. Varane, we needed that defense. We needed a centre back who will work with Maguire. So Raphael Varane is very welcome. Tom Heaton, backup keeper, I think is quite good. Of late, the hair is a bit shady, so having Tom Heaton is good. Tom Heaton is a bit old, so I don't know if he's still as flexible as he was. But
we can say the same thing for Cristiano, right?
Yeah, Cristiano, we have mob strikers. We have like 20 strikers. So even if Cristiano sits one, even if Cristiano
but Cristiano is Cristiano, if we're being fair.
If he fails to play, we have Rashford, we have Greenwood, we have so many strikers. But I think our biggest problem is in midfield. Our midfield is too weak. Like watching that game with Wolves, I was just too sad. I was like, hey, Cristiano will stand.
Which part? Are you making reference to the defensive midfield?
Not a creative midfield, attacking midfield. We need someone creative. We have Pogba. But man, Pogba is on and off. He's like alternating current. He'll be on this week, next week off. We have.
But what about Van der Beek?
That's a problem now. Van der Beek is rotated out of the team. You don't know when he's going to play. When he's going to play.
But you have him. You have him.
We have him,
I don't think the problem
Bruno.
is
Let's not
creative.
forget you also have Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, you also have Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, we have Fernandes as well, but I don't know whether Fernandes is going to be in the shadow of Cristiano. I think Fernandes is too attacking. We need someone behind Fernandes who is someone who plays in Fred's position, but who is better than Fred. Yeah,
one Mata,
and who is not McTominay.
You have Mata.
So, Kajina, if I'm understanding you well, you're saying you want to spend more.
We must spend more. We need a midfielder, like a very.
Who would you bring in? Who would you bring in?
Who would I bring in at this point? Let's wait for the Jan window and see if players will be available. Yeah, let's wait for the Jan window.
United, you will never be happy until you sign the Avengers, the Power Rangers, the Ghostbusters. You guys need to sign everyone.
Unlike you guys, first we're after a silverware. For you won once and you are content after that. Yes,
and we won it with players who don't cost that much. That's how good coaches do with players. But you guys, you believe so much in buying and buying and buying.
They want to buy everyone. Now, Jonah, while we're on that,
because you need them.
I like that this banter is going on between the Liverpool guy and Liverpool fan and a United fan. Jonah, look at this embarrassment of riches for Manchester United. Mr. Manzi Kajina you be hinting at the fact that his midfield is lacking. I mean, look at this. You have a more than competent backup player for every position. If you look at the center forward role, Cristiano Ronaldo, you managed to maintain or keep a hold of Edinson Cavani, who was rumored to be heading, to be heading to Barcelona. Barcelona made a late swoop for him in the transfer window that didn't materialize. Marcus Rashford is coming back from a shoulder injury, so definitely Martial is going to have to warm that bench, and he too was actually rumored to be heading out on loan, but he decided to stay and fight for his place. But there you have the battle on that side. On the left side, on the right side, your super signing or most expensive signing of the window, Jadon Sancho, in there. That for me is going to be the battle, because Mason Greenwood, for me, is a fantastic player, great finisher, who I believe, of course, cutting into his left leg. We can see the left foot. We can see the damage that he does. In the middle, Bruno Fernandes coming in with pile drivers all over the place, and also a number of assists. And let's not forget what impact Jesse Lingard had at West Ham last season, deputizing Fernandes. Pogba, fantastic game one of the season, 3 assists in there, so we know that he can pick the long pass. He's actually bringing the form that he usually showcases for France into the Premiership. And
that was one game, man. Matthew, don't you Susa. That was one game, man.
Well. Let's get. We'll get into it. Let me just finish up here. You need to be able to see or to really appreciate that what you have, not many teams in Europe have. McTominay would definitely sit within that defensive position number there, breaking up play within midfield, and then at the back, maybe a little less, less riches than up front. But your first 11, nevertheless, your first back 4 choices are superb. Shaw, Maguire, Varane, lots of experience, and for me, that completes the fantastic central defensive partnership, which I would say probably comes in. Could compete to be one of the best, or if not the best, in the Premiership. Although for me, Liverpool's still ahead. And then Wan-Bissaka, who's always Mr. Efficient there. Not many assists, but always does the job. And then the battle that will rage on throughout the season. David De Gea, Cole, and Henderson, who is also a fantastic goalkeeper. Manzi, how dare you say you are lacking in midfield? Look at that.
Let me tell you,
He's spoiled.
Our defense is Kawa. Our defense is solid. I think even the striking line is solid. The problem is in the midfield. Pogba is not reliable. Fernandes is good, but he's also not, like, he will not give you every game, McTominay is good, but the problem is...
So you want more options that are better than Pogba and Fernandes. Okay, let's say that's possible.
Yeah.
If you are in charge of Manchester United's transfers in January, who are you bringing in to take over Pogba and Bruno? Who gives you confidence in that position in world football?
Pogba stays and Fernandes stays, but maybe...
Yeah, but who are you bringing in?
McTominay's play. I need someone like N'Golo Kante. I need like a Kante to first come and sort out that midfield. And
you guys are so spoiled, eh? You're so spoiled, you don't even know what you have.
The guys are spoiled.
Like, you're so spoiled. Like, you have literally a video game team, eh? But somehow, you're like, no, it's not enough. We need to get the best players from all the other best teams. And even Kante will come and you say, yeah, but he also needs backup.
No. If you're like Kante, or a player like Kante, would be sorted. Like, that team is sufficient to win the league. Like, if our problem is midfield, the connection between the midfield, the defense and striking, will defend well. Guys at the front won't get the ball. They will get the ball.
Manzi, let me.
You know what I think that is? That's the coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the coach. Because honestly, I think Matthew, Chelsea is the same. Chelsea is the same.
Yeah.
Chelsea is the same. Chelsea also have an embarrassment of riches in every position. Chelsea signed for the sake of signing. They didn't need Saul, but they got Saul. Maybe they needed Lukaku. One could argue they didn't have a proper finisher. So fine, they needed Lukaku. But everything that even Kouande that they wanted from Sevilla and didn't get, they didn't need him. But they signed for the sake of signing. Same like United. The difference is Chelsea have a competent coach who with the players he has, he's going to win something, or at least he will not pretend that he can't win it. Well, you guys continue to give excuses about the guy you have
We're not
and
giving
saying, "Oh, it's
excuses.
the
We're
players.
just
We
saying
need more
that.
players."
Yeah. Trust me. If we had
Thank you,
midfield sorted,
Matthew.
we'd be in a better
I've
position.
been itching to
Yeah, I was
to
going to
get
say
back into the action.
let's give the Chelsea man a chance to also briefly tell us what do you think about Manchester
Sorry
United's
about
transfer
that.
business. No worries. What do you think about Manchester United's transfer business? Manzi Kajina seems to think they're still short. What's your assessment of that?
Man U's transfers are good. I agree. They are quite challenging. I still think that we have to wait and see how the team lines up. That is going to be the determining factor, because I am craving and itching to see Pogba playing deep lying midfield. That having Pogba playing deep lying midfield. Eh, so as long as the lineup is picked in a particular way, I'm not worried about. I am not really worried about that. Cristiano is aging, so I have to first see it to believe it. So for that for that one, Manu, I have to. I'm only interested in those two players. Where is Cristiano going to be fielded, and where is Pogba going to be fielded? If they get that right, then I can be scared. But as long as there is that confusion, Pogba covering in defensive midfield, then they are liable to being beaten.
That's true. While you're here, Frobisha, let's move into Chelsea's business, because I think we have given Manchester United more than enough time. Their chances are looking good. Look at your ends, Chelsea, 108 million pounds spent. The bulk of that on Romelu Lukaku, 97.5 million pounds. Saul Niguez coming in from Atletico Madrid on deadline day, on loan, and then a little known Marcus Bettinelli from Fulham, who I think is going to warm the bench of the under 15s. Going by Chelsea's recent, dealings with players that are not necessarily well known. But I'll not focus on the outs. But what's your assessment, Frobisha? Do you feel Romelu Lukaku was the missing ingredient to bring home the English Premier League title?
Well, just watching one game and seeing his impact in those two games, I think that he is actually going to add value to us as Chelsea. He comes back
Are
as
you
a
going to
more
win the title?
mature, more Drogba-like picture in front, and I was not very worried about up front, because I felt like Havertz and Ziyech and who there were three there were doing a good job in there. Actually, I'm very disappointed that Timo Werner is getting to be benched, because I feel like he may not be contributing goals, but the contribution up front there is very, very pivotal to our team's attacking chances. So but I understand the coach's dilemma. You can't bench Mount, and Havertz is also on form, and I saw Ziyech is also on form. So it's going to be tricky there for him how to pick the front three. But one thing that I noticed about
your new signing, Frobisha. Just on that, sorry to interject, but just on that, while you're in the midfield, you have mentioned Ziyech, you have mentioned Mason Mount, you have mentioned who else? Havertz, even Timo Werner, who really plays on the wing as a forward, but usually drifts back into midfield to pick the ball. Where is Saul Niguez going to fit into that midfield? It already looks packed. You have not even mentioned the likes of Jorginho and Kante, who are also world-class midfielders. Will Saul Niguez, contribute?
Well, I was getting to that. realizing from last season and from the few games I think you have all witnessed so far, I don't think Kante has a week in, week out performance anymore. And if I am the coach at this time, I would be picking the matches I play him very, very carefully. So I think I don't know about Kovacic because naturally Kovacic would be the cover for Kante, but I think something they are seeing something there that is not satisfactory, and they wanted to have extra cover in that position. Of course, Chelsea wants instant success, so because I felt like Billy Gilmore had done a good job last season and warranted enough weight to stay and cover for Kante in that number. But as Chelsea, we usually go for experience. We want instant success, and I think that's what Saul Niguez brings to the table. He knows this, and so those matches where maybe it's a Champions League game and Kante is injured, or where it's games that need maturity, and I believe that's where Saul Niguez is going to come in. I don't see him as pivotal to the team. I pretty much see him playing a similar role that Kovacic played when he came on loan from Madrid. He was used sparingly, and maybe if he proves his weight and value to show that he can be a starter in that team, then he can be elevated. But right now, I know they are looking for quality cover for Kante, because Kante is his fitness has proven to be shaky over the last 2 seasons. Even when he has had an extended break, he has come back when he still has similar challenges.
Let me just stop you right there.
Good business to cover up for.
Fantastic. Let me just stop you there. Thanks a lot, Frobisha, and bring in the rest of the crew. Jonah, kicking off with you. What is your assessment of that? Of Frobisha's view?
Matthew, I'm here smiling because everything Frobisha has said, honestly, this is the most honest Chelsea fan I have ever had speak. First, he said he agrees that they buy success. He didn't use those words, but he said it. We all heard him. He agrees that they buy success. The second thing
who
he
doesn't
said,
buy success? Who doesn't buy success?
Frobisha, you
the whole Liverpool starting 11 is very expensive. The whole United starting 11 is very expensive. You cannot even compare the sum of the starting 11 of United and Liverpool to that one of Arsenal.
No, guys, please let's leave Arsenal out of this.
Yo.
Okay. I was going to say Man City. It was a slip of the tongue.
My goodness. Arsenal is even a slip
I'm just
of the
translating. I'm just translating. The second thing, Matthew, that Frobisha said that is very honest. And again, he didn't say it, but we had it. He said N'Golo Kante, his African age is catching up with him. And we can all see it as football fans. We can all see it. The man, his real age is like 48, and the bones can't allow. So he has a few games. They have to rotate him. So I agree. I agree 100%. They needed backup. And if anything, by the way, Frobisha, I agree with you. Billy Gilmore shouldn't have been loaned out. Billy Gilmore should have remained there because you don't have that much cover in central midfield. Because your starting midfielders, I would say Kante and Jorginho, and the backups would be Saul now and Kovacic, who are, but in their own right, also starters in any team. But with all the games you're going to play, Billy Gilmore could have been there. He's a young boy. He doesn't mind being rotated. He would play. But you're the most honest Chelsea fan.
Manzi,
I like what
Jonah,
you said.
thanks for that. I want to hear what what Manzi is has to say about the Chelsea business. Do you feel that they're the main they've done better business than you?
I think Chelsea's team is slightly better than our team. I don't know if Lukaku will be very good. We had Lukaku, we sold him. Now he has come back even older. I don't know if he will be as good as you guys think he will be. I don't think he will score 20 goals this season. I just don't think he will. Maybe 15. But
That's what I used to say about Mohamed Salah. Isn't that what I
But-
said about Mohamed Salah? Very, very irritating.
Chelsea's team.
4 seasons now.
Chelsea's defense is on point. Matthew, you said Liverpool has the best defense. I think Chelsea has the best defense because watching their game against
Oh, without a doubt.
who are they playing over the weekend?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. They are
Liverpool.
scoring.
Chelsea played Liverpool, yes.
Guys like Marcus Alonso, Azpilicueta, that defense is solid. So if Chelsea is not going to be squad, that means they can either draw or win. Even with 10 men. So I think their defense is on point.
Yeah.
They had to score. Midfield.
They're very organized.
Yeah, they're very organized. The problems Fubisha has mentioned, but I like their striking force as well. Of course, me, I'm German, so Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, those are my peeps. So I think
cutting it short, Manzi. Cutting it short.
Yeah.
Let me cut it short there because we have to move on. Do you feel that with the transfer business done, Chelsea have a better squad than Manchester United?
I think it's a more rounded team. Like everyone knows what they should be doing in their position, so they might be more rounded. Ours might be better in terms of on paper, names and what, but when it comes to working together as a team, I think Chelsea might be slightly better.
Chelsea might be slightly better. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to Liverpool. And Mr. Jonah, you are taking the mic now. As we can see, Liverpool's business, £36 million in. They have a fantastic, talented team, so they didn't really feel the need to go and spend like the rest of, to send crazy dimes into the transfer window like the rest of the other teams did. But if you look at, I think you do.
No, really.
Looking at the ins,
well. No, we don't.
They don't.
Let me finish up with the Liverpool intro here because looking at the one in coming in, powerful centre back Ibrahim Kanouté coming in from RB Leipzig for £36 million, who we have also had, rumor has it that he can also play as centre forward. Jonah, what are your comments?
Honestly, I love the joke, and I don't know if it's the intention on your part, Matthew, but there was a particular window with Jurgen Klopp around maybe 2015, and we needed to sign a backup striker, and he went and signed Steven Kolka instead, who, as you all know, is a centre back. And Steven Kolka only played one game for Liverpool, and the game he played as a striker. So, I don't know if you intended that, Matthew, but that's a crazy joke if you did, because it's almost an identical window in a sense of we need backup, and we haven't signed backup. We signed a defender. We have very many defenders. Yeah. Let's actually get into that. We signed a defender.
But you need a backup striker.
Yes, 100% we do.
You have so many strikers.
You have Origi. You have Origi.
Oh my God.
You have Firmino.
Origi. Those are two.
I don't know why those ones are forgotten.
How many goals?
And I don't think Jota is a midfielder. I don't think Jota is a midfielder.
No, actually, I'll agree with you.
I think Jota
there.
is an attacking forward.
Yes, I'll agree with you, Fabrice.
What position is that?
Jota was brought in actually as a backup for Firmino, which is true. As though he can play across the line, he can play all the positions. And honestly, I do not think our forward line is the problem, like the backup there, because we have Minamino, we have Oxlade-Chamberlain who can also play there. I think one problem we have had for a very long time that hasn't been addressed is the Coutinho problem, as I like to call it. We haven't had a creative player in Liverpool ever since Coutinho left. Now, because of the way Klopp plays,
true.
Because of the way Klopp plays, it's been almost not seen. Like the effect is not so bad because somehow we still win, we still grind out results, but there's still a Coutinho problem. We do not have a player that can just pull something out of the box, just as one person, just creating something in the way that, say, I wouldn't say even Chelsea have that kind of player, but in the way United have Bruno Fernandes, or in the way Arsenal now have Martin Odegaard, Odegaard is purely a creative player. He's there to do one job. And I would even say with Chelsea, Saul is very creative. He's very creative. Although he puts in goals as well, he's the kind of player who will drive and create something. And Liverpool has lacked that. We have failed to replace anything. But I would say the one positive, Matthew, with Liverpool this transfer window is we've managed to get back players who are injured last season. We've managed to tie down contracts.
Let's let Jonah finish.
We've managed to tie down contracts with players who are key players: Jordan Henderson, Trent, Fabinho, Alisson. They have all tied contracts, and even Salah is most likely going to tie one soon. So that's a positive. Yeah. And that's all we have as Liverpool fans: positivity.
So Jonah, let me let me before I open it up to the rest of the panel from the United and Chelsea side. From my end, I did mention last week that I thought Liverpool were really strong contenders for the title. I actually even placed you as for me favorites to surprise everyone and take the title. And the reason I thought I believe that to be true is because of what you just mentioned. Your injured stars who were out for a lot of last season, especially in defense, have returned. This man, who we can see in the photo right now, Virgil van Dijk, for me, I think will be absolutely crucial. If he can stay fit for the entirety of the season, him and Mo Salah, for me, are the key players for Liverpool. But in addition to that, we have seen, the United and Chelsea squads and what their defense looks like. For me, Liverpool's defense is, including their goalkeeper, is still the most balanced and most efficient defense. Look at your wingbacks: Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk in the middle, and obviously it will be a battle between Joel Matip and Ibrahima Konate. Both very competent. We're not even mentioning Joel Gomez in that. And then obviously the ever safe and efficient Alisson Becker in goal, who for me I think is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League at the moment. But that is also being contested by our Chelsea man Mendy. But yeah, what do you have to say about that? I think let me open that up. Let me open that up to. I hear Frobisha laughing, so I will open it up to Frobisha first, then Manzi, and then we'll conclude with Liverpool. Jonah. So Frob.
I agree with the. I always argued with my colleagues that last season really Liverpool's undoing was the injuries to their defenders. So that one, them having their first choice defense back is definitely a plus on their side, and I'm sure it's going to be very instrumental in them winning the trophy this season. However, I see Milner is not going to be an ever-present stay in that team this season, and many times Liverpool downplays Milner's influence, but I think Milner is a winner. He's a winner. Did it at Man City. He looks like he's just a workhorse that just moves around. And this season, I don't see him being available, and I don't see how Thiago Alcantara is going to fill those shoes.
Fabricia, let me just ask: are you trying to be malicious? Out of the entire Liverpool team, you have picked out James Milner as their key for the season.
No, Frobisha likes old people.
He's a very, very important utility player that they had. And and with the way the formations have changed, like the Liverpool fan was saying, they no longer need that or even the way Chelsea is playing, even the way Liverpool plays, they no longer have that creative number 10 needed because of the distribution of roles. However, there is always need for that. There is always need for that workhorse in the midfield. Which there was Wijnaldum who was also doing very well. But I think I need to see how Liverpool is going to handle that workhorse this season.
Naby Keita.
Yeah,
I hear
Henderson
Naby
is
Keita.
that guy.
I hear. But how many matches will he give you? His African years are already showing.
That's very true.
I can't play 5 games.
Even
Fantastic.
even Henderson, his African years are showing.
No. Henderson is reliable. Henderson is reliable.
Anyway,
All right. Yeah, that's my take.
Fantastic. Manzi Kajina, give us your take on Liverpool in very briefly, then we hand over to Jonah to wrap up the Liverpool.
2 seconds. Liverpool is good. Every time the season of fantasy begins, I have Trent Alexander-Arnold on my team. I have Salah on my team because those guys perform. Like, Trent is a defender, but he scores assists. So Liverpool is a strong contender. However, City and Chelsea are still, the favorites. So Liverpool might finish in 4th. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good assessment. Jonah,
I see
finally,
you're creating room for United.
Let's hear it from Jonah.
I like what Kajina said. How he has Trent and he always has Salah. So it's funny how people never, in all days, who's the top four. People always look down on Liverpool, and yet the fantasy players who are serious football fans will always have Liverpool players all season. Doubt. That being said, if our rivals have confidence in our players, me myself, I have super confidence. As long as we stay healthy, I think we have a chance. I think the only challenge I would have is AFCON. AFCON is coming up early next year, and that obviously means losing Muzei Keita, Muzei Mane, and Mohamed Salah. So that's going to be a challenge.
And that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge for you. But
that's
let's
going
wait
to be a
and see how.
If
we stay fit, I think we're okay.
No. Konate
is French.
Yeah.
Ibrahim Konate is French. Thanks a lot, Jonah. And we're going to move to the Gunners down there on your screen. People, I have no words. The words have been beaten out of me over the last 3 games. I never thought
down where? We have to
my
scroll.
Days.
Scroll down, man. To the next page.
I'm telling you, like I was saying, I never thought in all my days, and I'll give you guys a chance to banter. You're obviously itchy, but I never thought in all my days I would ever see Spurs at the top of the Premier League table and Arsenal at the bottom.
I thought you meant to say Arsenal spend this much money.
I am going to get into that as well. starting with the table. Anyway, let's get into that as well. Top spenders, people. Top spenders in Europe. £149 million. Looking at the guys that were spent on: Nuno Tavares, backup left back, Albert Sambi Lukonga, very promising defensive midfielder, actually a very progressive defensive midfielder, very much in the mold of Thomas Partey. Ben White, great defender, ball carrying defender, centre back, who can also play at right back there at £50 million. Martin Odegaard, obviously brought in from Real Madrid for £31 million to pull the strings in midfield and link that midfield to an attack, something that we have seen lacking. And then Aaron Ramsdale coming in to sort out the goalkeeping situation, which for me was just a fuss. It was debacle. Good to see that Alex Renison has left the club on loan and gone to Leuven in Belgium. And then finally, our deadline, Josh Kroenke is the son, the son of the owner, Stan Kroenke, has always told Arsenal fans to get excited and be excited. We were holding our breath for a last-minute signing in the mold of Jose Mauer from Lyon, probably someone exciting, attacking to come and, basically just lift our spirits. What do we get? I had to read this name something like 6 times. Takehiro Tomiyasu from Bologna, central defender, who is reported to be very good, by the way. £16 million, plays on the right side of central defense and can also play at right back. Obviously coming in to provide cover in that area, but with the likes of William Saliba being sent out to Marseille, you do question. There's basically a lot of things going wrong at Arsenal right now. The coach is basically Mikel Arteta, the manager. Actually, he's not a coach, a manager. He's out of his depth. We've seen how incompetent Edu is with regards to the transfers and the transfer window. Stan and Josh Kroenke, as well as Vinay, basically the entire board and leadership of Arsenal, also do not escape blame for giving the reins of this club, and at a very crucial time where we really needed a steady head and experienced head to come in, and giving the reins for both the technical director role to Edu Gaspar as well as Mikel Arteta. Guys, I don't even know what to say, but I think let me first hand it over, starting with Jonah, and we'll go around. Let me take the beating.
With all my Arsenal friends, and we have very many of them, being in that we're all in the same age group. We have the same. Arsenal had a good amount of success back in the early 2000s, so many people jumped on that ship. So we have a lot of Arsenal friends, and they are suffering right now. So we have to look for them. We have to care for them. This week actually is Hug an Arsenal Fan week. Let's just put that out there. Kajina, if you see an Arsenal fan, Frobisha, if you see an Arsenal fan, please hug an Arsenal fan. That being said,
so Jonah, you guys... Manzi Kajina's wife supports Arsenal. So Manzi is obviously not eating this week.
She's soon moving to United.
Manzi, come on up. I'll get you Rolex, man. Bachelor life. But yeah, man. Arsenal fans, you have no excuse right now. You've spent the money. You've always been calling out Chelsea fans and Man City fans and United fans about spending money. You've spent the money. We don't care if you've spent it right or wrong. We don't know that yet. Obviously, the players are yet to prove themselves. But you have no excuse. We need to see some silverware. And we're not talking about the Milk Cup.
Speaking of spending money, spending money, how about this? If you look at it, looking at the highest spenders in Europe, this is in Europe, during the just concluded summer transfer window. We about spent Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Leipzig, Aston Villa, obviously no surprise, Aston Villa, AS Roma, PSG.
Really?
Surprise. Yeah, and then Crystal Palace.
That's what I'm saying. No excuse. You have to outperform those teams.
Yeah. So what do you think these players will carry us forward? Let me ask that question. Do you think we're being too harsh on the manager? Do we need to give him time?
Honestly.
All jokes aside, the money jokes aside, I think the one player who you've signed, two players actually, who I think will have an impact, Odegaard and Lokonga. I really see potential in those two guys. And if those guys don't perform on an individual level, the manager is to blame. Forget the team performance. If those two players do not perform, Lokonga and Odegaard, the manager is to blame 100%.
Fantastic. Frobisha, going to you. Man, you guys will come last. You're always in our ears.
Well, can you go back to the list of Arsenal players bought this season? I really...
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes, that one there. Thank you. I was just looking at that, and I was saying, well, I do not know whether the problem was actually the Arsenal players that you needed to bring in or not. I always tell people that Ben White is a good buy for Arsenal, and it's understandable the fees that you have to pay for him, considering that Man U spent, I don't know how. Yeah, English, not English talent,
British talent.
But Premier League clubs. Premier League clubs are not bullied like the way it happens in Spain and Germany. So there's nothing like we are the big teams. We always get the good players, and that's why Man U to get Maguire or to get Bissaka from Crystal Palace, they had to give an arm and the leg there. So the fees aside, I think Ben White is good. I hope he will improve you guys playing from the back, and then these others, I really do not understand. I will have to first wait and see, because Odegaard came, was a fringe player last season. I don't think he contributed enough to convince me to warrant a stay. Aaron Ramsdale was a relegation goalkeeper. You guys let go of Martinez. I didn't understand that. And then now you are backing on Aaron Ramsdale. And I was wondering if Aaron Ramsdale is going to be a backup keeper. Anyway, but let's leave prices aside. I hope if he's coming in to take the number one role, then maybe we can evaluate. But me, the most positive signing I see there is the signing of Ben White. Him, I think, with Rob Holding. This Pablo Mali jazz, I don't agree with it. Having if you need to pay Ben White with either Rob Holding or someone better. But that boy is a joker. Or maybe Gabriel. Yeah, that will make your defense very good. With Tierney, because you already had a good Tierney is already playing good on there. So I believe there you would be having a solid team in there. That's all I can say for now. Really, I don't have a lot of focus. I don't have a lot of focus on Arsenal. I'm actually more concerned about City and Spurs.
Fantastic. Manzi Kajina, what do you think is the challenge at Arsenal? But actually, before you give your comment, I would like to draw the screen's attention to this nice bit of banter that you were so kind as to put out. And this is the reason you're not going to eat. You're not going to eat food, but will eat vegetables for the rest of this week. Do you think this is a reflection of Arsenal's signing strategy? As long as he is with.
Is that on Twitter?
No. Oh, Kajina.
No, yeah, it looks like that is on Twitter.
But seriously, I am worried. I'm really worried for Arsenal. They have fallen off the pace. Like they are real. You know, when you're like in a marathon and you start together running with guys, and then after like the first 10 kilometers, some guys are 10 minutes ahead, others are 20 minutes ahead. Yeah. Arsenal have really fallen off the pace. I don't see them coming back. They need to overhaul the team. I think you need to fire the manager. You need like that Saudi guy to buy the club, inject some capital. Because then players won't come to Arsenal. Which players will allow to come and play for Arsenal? So the guys they brought that guy from Shaolin Soccer, Takehiro. maybe he'll just say you guys, but I am worried. Not like in banter or what, but I am worried. You guys won't even be in top 8, top 10. I think you'll finish like 12th. So my prayer is that first of all, your manager is sacked, and then someone else maybe comes and tries. But at least when I look at your players, man.
But are you guys claiming that these signings are Arteta's fault? Why is the manager taking the fall for this?
Well, the signings is Edu.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, but let's discuss that as well. Is it the manager's fault? Is it the management?
He has a say.
100% Edu has his faults, but
that he brings on.
But Edu is the one who signed these players. We all know it.
Yeah, but Edu has to.
He was the
door. Yeah, he's actually the door in for all these guys. But you see, Edu, yes, as much as he's the technical director and is very pivotal in identifying the talent based on the manager's requirements. It is the manager that says, yes, I will take this guy, because we know Mikel Arteta has been very pivotal in both identifying which players he wants to bring in to play. He obviously wants to impose a new style of playing out from the back, building out that football in a way very similar to the way Manchester City do. Obviously, they have much more talent in their squad to effect that play in a superb way that wins them titles. We are lagging behind. But, I do believe, yes, Edu is to blame and he should be replaced. But for me, as an Arsenal fan, I cannot exonerate Mikel Arteta what some of the decisions.
But
Yes, he has spent quite a bit, but some of the decisions this transfer window, keeping Granit Xhaka, giving him
You
a
can keep
contract
him, but where do
extension.
you play him? That guy should be on the bench. He should. I mean, if he comes off
I
the
mean,
bench,
but
Granit Xhaka
honestly,
needed to leave.
honestly speaking, the reason why I don't support people bashing Arteta is because we had Unai Emery. I believe Unai Emery had a better team than Arteta has currently, with Aubameyang at his prime, Mkhitaryan, coming in and it wasn't working. He leaves, goes to Spain. One season, he's winning trophies again. And so I'm wondering how, and you guys bashed Unai a lot for that time, but he
Let
had
me
a better
respond to
team
that
than
as
this
the
than
Arsenal
this guy.
guy. Let me respond to that as the Arsenal guy. There's Arsenal is a fish that is rotting from the head going downwards to the tail. There's challenges with the owner. Yes, the owner actually, I would actually say, as much as the owner has been,
that is the real issue.
has not effectively.
That is the real
as much
issue.
as much as he has not effectively managed the club and allowed, people like Edu and Mikel Arteta to be hired, people who are not experienced enough to get us to where we need to be. The fact is, he has actually availed the funds this transfer window. He put 150 million pounds on the table and said, regardless of the fact that we needed to get rid of a lot of deadwood, a lot of players, the likes of Bellerin, the likes of El Neni, who haven't gone. There's a lot of deadwood in there. Kolasinac, you can mention it. He has put the money on the table and brought in players. So I might give the owner a pass for now. And like I said, the blame lies with Edu and Mikel Arteta. That combination. However, drawing to the point, that Frobisher raises, there's also a mentality issue with the players. The mentality of the club is not what it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. We have a lot of players who were there from the Wenger era. If you look at our last game against Manchester City, you had Kolasinac, you had Rob Holding, you had, of course, Aubameyang, Lacazette in there. You had who was the other guy? Basically, even Ban Leno actually. You have some people who have been there from the last 5 years. Of course, winning a couple of FA Cups has masked, for me, has peppered over the cracks. But I do believe for us to get back to where we are, we need to have a shift in mentality, and Mikel Arteta promised to bring that in. That's why we're excited about him. But that has gone by the wayside. His man management is also questionable for me. So we need to fix that mentality. Aubameyang, I think, is the most incorporated captain out of all the top 6 sides for me. I think that burden shouldn't have been placed on him. He's not someone who's going to carry the team when we're not going to do what Chelsea did. Going down.
Matthew, let me just interject there very quick.
Yeah.
Let me just interject there very quick. Something that Frobisher said earlier when he talked about James Milner. As much as James Milner has impact on the pitch in terms of graft and grit, and those guys who just push the team, right? There's also a leadership factor, right? And we all know that. Now, I'll talk about Jorginho in Chelsea. And Jorginho, even when he was in Italy at the Euros, there's a certain leadership factor that certain players have, where they may not necessarily be providing a certain quality on the ball or something like that, but they are leaders. And I think Xhaka is the one guy in your team, or I would even say Tierney as well. Tierney also has that factor.
Yes.
True.
Oba, we all know, doesn't have it. But Tierney maybe is too new in the team to be given that role, but he has it.
Yeah.
Xhaka also has it, but he's a bit crazy, and we all know it. That's how he got the red. So Arsenal have been lacking leadership since the Vieira days. That's their problem.
Yes.
You can sign whoever you want to sign, but as long as the culture within the team doesn't change, you don't have that leadership culture, it won't matter who coaches.
Matthew, let me ask what Jonah is saying.
Yes.
Where they are right now, I don't know if they can even attract these players, like the leadership, players who can be good leaders. because if you don't have European football this season, next season, I don't think you'll have it even the season after that. It might be difficult to attract those players. So can the current breed of Arsenal players really at least put you into top 7? Highly unlikely, I think.
I don't see it.
Well, you know, in my predictions for you know, who's going to finish in the top 6, and we will go into. I'll give you guys the chance to basically give your views. I was quite bold for the Manchester City game to predict that Arsenal will rise from the ashes and come in as you know, dark horses, so to speak, and finish and you know, 6th, finish 6th, and we don't have much. We cannot attract the players the same caliber that you know, the likes of City, United, Liverpool are doing at the moment, as well as Chelsea, because we're not in Europe. Number one, we need our fortunes to first go up. No one wants to come to a table that is falling like a rock. So this team is going to have no way out but to pull themselves out. Short of which the manager will have to go after. Let's say, you know, 10 games on the chart and we're still in the bottom half of the table. There's going to be, you know, the fans are already gone, and the remainder of the fans that do still believe in this manager and you know, trust the process will also have time. But yeah, so just to answer your question, Manzi, Kajina, I do believe this team has no other option but to pull themselves out of it. I don't know where that inspiration is going to come from. It's just fingers crossed. But also on the point of that John, I think, raised on leadership, from the guys, the gentlemen that you see on this screen, we did mention that Xhaka and Tierney have leadership potential with regards to captaincy, being captain material. I would also argue that from the transfers, we could be seeing. I haven't seen enough of Ben White. Whether he's, you know, we only had him for the first game, but I did see shades of him, and he's starting to be more vocal than the likes of Rob Holding and Pablo Mari in commanding his central defensive area. So could there be ingredients for leadership right there? If you look down at the bottom below Ben White, you will see Martin Odegaard. He is at his tender age of 23 or 22, is it? He is the captain of the Norwegian national team. So that is a captain in the team. Albert Sambi Lokonga was captain at Anderlecht before he left. He had been given that leadership responsibility by none other than Vincent Kompany. So there could be signs that Mikel Arteta and Edu are trying to fix this. Do you guys think he deserves the time, or do you think he should be sacked? Going around, starting with Jonah.
Just quickly, I'll say that's very interesting to hear about Lokonga and Odegaard. I didn't know that they were captains at their respective clubs and national teams. And that being said, I think then probably also they have recognized this. And I think I would give Arteta more time. I would just say as Arsenal, like, forget about trying to be in top 4 for a while. As Liverpool guys, we were in the wilderness for a while with Roy Hodgson and Kenny Dalglish. We're in the wilderness for a while, and we accepted it. And we said our time will come. So I guess you guys should also just forget about that kind of pressure of trying to be in top 4.
How much time would you give him, though? Jonah, how many games would you give him after the international break?
Games? Man, I was thinking about years, man. Like, if I was a National fan, I'm serious. No, like, for real. Like,
this is banter, man. Yes.
No. I'll give him 3 years. Games?
Dude,
no, man.
Unless you want my hairline to recede faster than a Lamborghini.
The guy wants you to take 30 years like Liverpool.
Hey, but it will come. It will come. Because you don't have the money to keep doing what you've done this transfer window.
Anyway, Manzi, what do you think?
I would say sack him, because you see, you gave this guy 149 million. If you give that money to another manager, maybe he would buy different players. Maybe he would switch it up a bit. I don't know. But he's had his chance. He has tried. Man, if he was at Chelsea, you know what happened to Lampard. So I don't know why some clubs are more forgiving than others.
Speaking of Chelsea,
Lampard dug his own grave. Lampard, yes, Lampard dug his own grave.
Go ahead, Frobisha. Your thoughts. Keep Arteta or sack him.
He couldn't get the results. Anyway, I don't know what I don't think Arsenal's problem is the manager. However, yes, these young managers, if I believe Arsenal's problem is ambition, and this ambition problem starts from Wenger himself. Wenger turned the club into finishing in the top 4 is sufficient for us to have a good season, and started things like the Emirates Cup, which they won for 1-2 years, and then they couldn't also win it anymore as a successful season. So and Wenger carried that thing up. Then they became top 6, and by the time now they have woken up to the truth. Now Arsenal, because and I think I posted on one of the forums that I am on about Arsenal's decline steadily. Arsenal wanted to be an academy of sorts that produces talent. The only and then remain on top at the same time. The only problem that Arsenal had is when to produce the talent, they let go of that talent, okay, at good prices, money, but early, before they could achieve with them. Something that Man U couldn't allow. They couldn't sell Cristiano unless he had won them a Champions League. Remember, he wanted to go a season earlier, but they said stay. And then when he won the Champions League, they said now you can go. But Arsenal with Fabregas, with Gal Clichy, with Ashley Cole, with Samuel Nasri, Van Persie had done everything for you. Yeah. So they began to sell the most promising talent quite early, and that began hampering Arsenal's. And like Matthew said, that mentality of we want to achieve needs to come back fast. That's why even when you sack Arteta, I don't think you can hire Conte, because Conte will tell you, I want to win the trophy next season. And I don't think the players will be up for it at the moment. Unless
I've had some people mentioning. I've had some people mentioning they would take Sam Allardyce. Huh? Man, I'm telling you, what you hear about Arsenal, what you're hearing about Arsenal right now is terrible. We're just talking about
it's a mentality issue.
It's a mentality issue. But the beating that we're getting is terrible. We're just talking a few moments ago about a certain area in Kampala here, Uganda, that is prone to blackouts, Nigeria. And people were saying, the power generation company must be owned, majority owned by Stan Kroenke. That's why we're seeing incompetence and darkness in Nigeria. But I mean, it's just, it's a shambles at the moment. It's a shambles at the moment. And for me, in my honest opinion, I think I'll give the manager. Sorry, I was just saying, I'll give the manager. Let's say maybe 6 more games. Well, I would say 4 more games, because the next few games after the international break, we have Norwich, we have Burnley, and then we have Spurs.
All those clash of the Titans. The Norwich game.
The Norwich game we must. The Burnley game. Let me tell you, if we get to Spurs,
it's a clash.
Spurs is
bottom of the table clash. Okay, sorry.
Sorry. I was just saying, yes, bottom of the table clash, 19th versus 30th. That's the next game. Norwich, would you believe it? Norwich, and then we have to play Burnley, and the game for me that will make or break Mikel Arteta will be that game at Spurs. Because I can tell you for sure, if we haven't won the previous 2 games and we lose that game, there will be fire all around.
But let me tell you, for free,
North London will be on fire.
Yeah, where you are now, you can't beat Spurs. Maybe you might draw with Norwich, but Spurs, man.
Even Norwich, they could shoot them, but Spurs right now, those guys are 1-0 guys.
Those guys are on fire. Kane is back.
Yeah,
man.
And even, by the way,
Anyway.
Nuno was very defensive even at Wolves. He was very
Exactly.
defensive.
Exactly.
Very
And now with
organized,
Spurs, he has a
very
better
organized
team.
tactician. Yeah,
He will do his
he has a
1-0
better
and go.
team. Guys, we're running out of time. We need to discuss Spurs. I think we've gone into Spurs right now. Is what we have been discussing. So I think let's definitely go into the transfer business from Spurs, and then we'll wrap it up with Manchester City. So Spurs got Cristiano Romero in from Atlanta. Very good Argentine right back in there for £47 million. They got Pierluigi Golini from Atalanta as well on loan. They got Brian Gill, who is a very promising Spanish player. We did see shades of him in the Olympics, and he was brought in for £21 million plus Eric Lamela heading in the opposite direction. The new N'Golo Kante, Pape Matar Sarr from Senegal, came in from Metz for £15 million. That's what they're calling him, but we will not see shades of him this season in the Premiership because he was loaned back to Metz for the season, and he will be coming in next season. And finally, Emerson Royal, who they got in from Barcelona, £26 million. Fantastic right back, who Barcelona had also brought in, but I think were comfortable letting him go because they had Sergino Dest as well in that number. But obviously we were crying out for a right back, Arsenal, at the end of the window. Spurs got Emerson Royal from Barcelona, bullied Barcelona into selling the right back who they had bought back from loan, actually bought back from Real Betis because they had sold him to Real Betis. They bought him back because of their financial situation. They had to take Spurs money. Who do Arsenal bring in? Takehiro Tomiyasu from Bologna. Guys, what do you think about Spurs business? Starting with Jordan.
I think really the biggest business Spurs did was keeping Kane, as Fabricia said earlier. That's their biggest business. Everything else is irrelevant, to be honest.
I feel sorry for Kane. He really wanted to leave, but Levy did him a dirty, so he has to stay. I hope he performs. Tottenham, of course, won't win the league. They can't win the league. So that's another season without silverware for Kane. I feel so sorry for him, but I pray he scores. Maybe he'll get the golden boot. Maybe he'll perform well. But my favorite player at Spurs at the moment is Tanganga. I don't know why, but I just like the way he plays.
Tanganga.
The way it sounds.
The way it sounds. And man, the guy is keeping clean sheets left, right, and center. And yeah.
He sounds like he's from your village, Kajena.
No chance.
Maybe you think he crossed the ocean by boat, man? Tanganga.
He's our
need to check for resemblance.
He's our guy.
Is your
Fantastic.
guy?
Frobisha, tell us about Spurs. What do you think?
Yeah, Spurs. Like my friend Kajina has said, I really I feel a bit sad for Harry Kane. Though I didn't want him to stay in the EPL if he was to leave Spurs, because that would be messing up Chelsea's chances anywhere he would go. So it's good that he it's good business for Spurs. That is good, but I feel sorry for Spurs because they slipped out of top 4. And I think that's the biggest mistake they made, because they had established themselves as a top 4 team for at least 2-3 seasons. And I think they needed to do everything possible to stay there. So when they slipped out, I think it became quite tricky. But unlike what the other people are saying, with the way Nuno is organized, I believe that Spurs is going to challenge, is going to knock on the door for top 4, much more than Leicester or West Ham. So because he's organized and Nuno has a better team. He has a better team than he had at Wolves.
Than he did at Wolves.
And he also kind of like has a point to prove. a point to
Fantastic.
prove because he was not Spurs' first choice.
Yes, fantastic. Very good points there, Frobisha. Sorry for cutting you short, but we do have to go into the last team of the day because we're definitely running out of time on the show today. Manchester City's transfer business there. One player coming in, £100 million. Jack Grealish. They failed to get Harry Kane. They failed to get Cristiano Ronaldo. I even thought they would probably have a late swoop for Lewandowski from Bayern Munich, but that did happen. Pep Guardiola, yet again, going another season without a really dominant center forward, like the rest of the teams have. Do you guys think that Manchester City can retain the Premiership title and challenge for the UEFA Champions League? Jonah?
I think a Pep team will always be a challenge. Honestly, Kane would have made them better, 100%. We all know that. Grealish is obviously going to make them better. He's already having an impact. But still, a Pep team is a Pep team, and we may hate them, we may love them. A Pep team with Man City, they will always challenge, and they will always be the favorites. And me, 100%, even as much as Chelsea has improved, City are still the favorites. I don't know why people are ignoring them. They're still the favorites for it.
Fantastic. Manzi, Kajina?
Yeah, when you look
your
at
boys, your noisy neighbors.
When you look at the amount of money spent, like 126, 149, 108, you have to look at the players they have bought in relation to the players they had. So City, even if they had not gotten Grealish, would still be title contenders. Like their team is so good, but even their manager is the best. Man, when you watch City playing, they can play without De Bruyne, they can play without Sterling, they can play without Mahrez and still win. They can play without Gundogan, man. So City, annoyingly, our noisy neighbors, they are too good. I think they'll win the league. If they don't win the league, it will be a shock. But I think, yeah.
Fantastic. Frobisha, finally from you in very few words. Tell us, do you have what your thoughts are about Manchester City?
I've always argued, even last season, I argued that the only reason that season was because Liverpool team defense kind of gave way, and they were not able to sustain the challenge. So definitely, Chelsea and United were not ready to give them a run for their money. So Liverpool was the best option then. So I know people. Okay, we need to give Man City credit, of course, for their playing without a striker kind of strategy. But with the EPL, you have to keep on adjusting. You get figured out,
Yeah, we seem to have lost my man Frobisha right there due to a connectivity issue. But I think we did get the gist of what he was saying, and we'll definitely have to move on to actually close, to basically close as Frobisha comes back.
Sorry about that.
No worries. We definitely have to bring the show to a close, gentlemen. We've gone on for quite a bit. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all on the show. Finally, I do want to give you guys a chance to give your predictions of who will finish at the top 6 in the English Premier League come the end of the season, starting with Jonah, 1 to 6.
Is that in order? 1 to 6?
In order from champions to 6th.
Hey, Kajina is looking at me. Okay, I'm going to say 100% Liverpool first. I'm going to say Chelsea second. I'm going to say Man City third, and United fourth. Then West Ham fifth, and Spurs sixth.
Fantastic, interesting. Kajina.
Okay, number 1 City, Manchester City. Number 2 Manchester United. Number 3 Chelsea. number 4 Liverpool, number 5 Spurs, and number 6 Leicester City.
Okay, interesting. And Frobisher?
That's very easy. Number 1 Chelsea. Then I believe number 2 is going to be Liverpool. Number 1 Chelsea. Number 2 is going to be Liverpool. Number 3 is going to be United, and then number 4 will be Man City. Then 5 and 6 would be Spurs and Leicester. Spurs and Leicester, yes.
Who will finish 6th? Is it Spurs or
Leicester.
Leicester number
No,
6?
Spurs will be number 5. Yes.
Spurs will be number 5.
Actually, Spurs may sneak into the top 4. I can bet on that one. Spurs may sneak into the top 4. I just don't know whom to drop. It's tight.
But I see Chelsea. Chelsea might drop out, eh?
You can drop Chelsea.
Guys, thank you very much. I see none of you has faith in Arsenal, making it to at least 6th.
Oh, we can do bottom 6 also.
Guys,
yeah.
Now, guys, we are bringing the show to an end. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. It was fantastic banter, and it'd be great to have you guys back on for another round next time. So thanks for joining. You guys take care, stay safe. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will be back. If you're watching the show and have stayed till the end, thank you very much. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the show, and of course, share widely and wildly. You guys take care, stay safe, follow COVID SOPs, and Godspeed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Matthew.
Cheers, guys.